Hello, everybody, and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and I am joined by quite the cast to tier Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. As you can hear, our good buddy Cliff is having fun with a snowboard. But we are joined by some great pals, including Jeff, which you can see on the bottom left-hand corner, represented as a fish. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
He hasn't blinked in 30 minutes.
Next to me on my right is Dorian, our good pal. Hello, Dorian. And then after Dorian, we have our good pal Mario from Mostly Coasters. Make sure to go check out his YouTube channel. He's got the catchiest freaking song out there right now.
Yeah, and we're going to start reviewing Amusement Pork soon.
Yeah, Amusement Pork is going to be a lot of fun. And then right next to him is, of course, our great pal Cliff from Analog Thrills, which you can find on Instagram. And, of course, all of these links will be down in the description. And hi, Cliff. How you doing? Yeah, that's what I was expecting to get. And last but not least, we have our great friend Sammy all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. And she actually just recently dyed her hair, if you couldn't notice from the last tier list. And quite the stark contrast, but I think it looks great. Hello, Sammy.
Hi.
All right, so we are tiering Knott's Berry Farm. I would argue really a home base for a lot of us. Maybe not Cliff, not Mario now, but me and Dorian especially. It's the park we've probably visited the most in the past couple of years, that's for sure. So, which this will be fun, and I can't wait to tier all 10 roller coasters. So, without prolonging this a little more and being a little more obnoxious with how long I'm making this, let's start with Timberline Twister. Where do you guys think this would tier, from S being the best or D being the worst?
D.
D.
I can't even fit in the train barely, so D.
So we have 4 Ds so far.
Even in terms of like,
go with D.
Okay.
I think even in terms of kiddie coasters, it's kind of.
It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
we were
Do
talking
kids really enjoy it?
we were talking about the Zamperla gravity coasters with the Discovery Kingdom one, and how like it doesn't even do a good job of being a kiddie coaster. So it's not just like us being like kind of subjective and being like, okay, that's not fun for us, but yeah, it's not even enjoyable for like kids. I feel like it's like too intense and too like uncomfortable for them even.
Yeah. What is airtime? I've never heard of it.
And also, it's not too enjoyable for ride ops either. They have to manually break it. Well, whether or not you like that or not, I guess it's personal preference. But
I think we should manually break it. Am I right? Just go in there and
yikes.
punch it. Am I right?
But I would also say D, so we are in complete agreement for Timberline Twister. This was actually my first roller coaster ever, I'm pretty sure. I rode it a couple years back. Even for a kiddie coaster, it's, especially in front row,
It's so jerky.
it killed my back.
It's not even like airtime. It's just,
Yeah.
It's like being on those like mechanical horses that used to be out in front of like grocery shopping areas, where you put like the quarter in there and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
the whole time. Yeah.
It's something else for sure. But with that, all agreeing on D tier being our first
It's just
tier.
gonna be Discovery Kingdom. I mean, maybe I didn't spoil anything.
Well,
Uh-oh.
I don't know the orders.
that video is going to come out before this one, so don't worry. You can.
Oh,
you can say
okay.
whatever you want.
Yeah, we just agreed with everything. So this is
Yeah.
gonna be that again.
Well, I don't know about everything. It'll change up a little bit later, I think, for sure.
Okay,
But next up is Montezuma's Revenge, the Schwarzkopf shuttle loop coaster. Where do you guys think this tiers?
B.
That's a tough one.
So we have 1B.
I'm like a very high B, but that's just because it has like a nostalgic place in my heart.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
say a high B just because
I
like
mean, it's also really historical too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that too.
I want to put it at A, but it's like I know in my heart that it's just not. It
Yeah.
doesn't serve it.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah,
about as
well-
good of a B as you could get.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic coaster, one of my favorite coasters in the park. But nowadays, it really is that support.
Yeah.
It's the
Definitely.
coaster you prepare yourself on before you go to Accelerator for a better launch. It's the
Yeah.
coaster you go on for your first inversions before you go over to Silver Bullet. It's a fantastic roller coaster, and I actually prefer it to Silver Bullet at least personally.
Yeah.
But I can't really say this is a star attraction anymore. Back in the 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s, yes, easily.
Mhm.
But once you started introducing things like Accelerator, Silver Bullet, Hang Time, even, this definitely started to take more of a supporting coaster approach to most of the park. So I'm gonna say B, even though I
Yeah.
love the thing.
I say
Um,
B. It does have a
Yeah.
unique launch though, because it's
Oh,
not
it's
like Excel
fantastic.
where it's like
Yeah.
instantaneous or something like Full Throttle where it's like gradual. It's like starts off slow and then gets like progressively faster.
hmm
Yeah, it's probably my third favorite launch of all time, which is
Very
kind of
interesting.
insane. But
Because it starts off like the little, and then you're like, okay, and
and then
boom.
Yeah, it's like a push, whereas like everything else is just like a start to get up to speed. And
like a
Accelerator is more like a slap, like.
I guess it's the only other ride in the park that actually offers like a guaranteed backwards ride at some point too.
very true.
Yeah.
And that backwards
Uh,
loop is fantastic. Oh my gosh, it's so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so nice. Yeah.
But I
Which
think
is
we
a
all
lot of-
Random ejector, man, on that spike.
It's powerful, man.
Yeah.
but I think we all said B, and I think we'd all agree it's a high B.
Yeah.
Right? Jeff, you said B?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been on this, Jeff?
No. But just looking at the stats overall,
Okay.
the fact that it's widely loved by people, and that it's also historical and
Mhm.
still gives a good ride experience, although it's definitely not the best in the park, makes
Fair.
it seem reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now, this is where we're going to get a little controversial, I think, in this episode. This is going to be fun.
No, I know
yeah.
who's gonna put it.
Silver Bullet. Where are we putting it?
I do not think it deserves any less than a B.
Okay.
I know y'all don't like it too much, but I'll say that and then save the arguing for later.
If I isolate this tier only to knots, which is the point, I believe, anyways,
Yeah.
I'd slip it in A.
Okay.
Just because it rests a little bit below as far as like intensity or like, preparing your family to get on bigger rides below like Ghost Rider or Accelerator, and maybe sits there kind of with Hang Time a little bit too. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of enthusiasts gripe about it. I have my gripes about it too, but I think it's a solid ride
Yeah.
overall. And I mean, if you want to compare it to other B&M inverts, like, I mean, there's still kind of unique things going on with it. I mean, the overbank turn is always going to be a really standout element on it for me anyways. That last helix is really pretty forceful and fun. You get a little tiny pop of airtime at one point before you enter the corkscrews. Like it works, I think, to satisfy the bullet points that can make it
The
fun and
silver
re-rideable.
bullet points, am I right?
Silver bullet, there you go. But just isolated to the park, I think it works kind of just being, like I think most GP will probably walk away with that holding that coaster in high regard.
Okay.
Because it's not overwhelming, but it's not entirely underwhelming either.
It's fun, yeah. It's just somewhere like right in
Yeah,
the middle.
it's fun. It's always good fun for me.
I
Yeah.
think in the park specifically, it is what most people would consider to be like in the top 3 most intense rides of the park for sure.
Mhm.
And I would actually probably say most people would say it's like number 1 or 2. Like intensity wise, it has the most inversions in the park.
Mhm.
It is intense, man. I mean, it's not intense compared to other B&M inverts, but I marathoned it 20 times in one day, and that was enough. That was enough for me halfway through, man. I couldn't do much more.
Yeah. I think for me it's probably a B. Like it does
Okay.
provide some good rides, but if I keep rewriting it, it kind of just goes a little like on the stale side for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. It's something about it that just says it's not quite right for writers.
But for
So
me,
I know.
I'm gonna say my final letter is A, and then I'm gonna stop talking.
Ooh, okay. In the park, I can respect that. I know I give it a lot of flack. I do. In a lot of my videos, I'm like, Silver Bullet. But I've ridden it probably more than every other coaster in the park now. By quite the wide margin, I'm pretty sure. But that's usually because the lines are very short because
Yeah.
of such a high capacity. And I mean, it's really kind of become a park icon, which is kind of crazy to think about, especially with that Cobra roll in front of the entrance.
Mhm.
It's one of the most notable pictures that you can find of Knott's for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny because I know so many enthusiasts and like Knott's like loyalists will complain about how it's sort of taken up too much space in the front and ruined the old fountain. And there you are.
Yeah,
Or even
that's an ass.
even Airtime Thrills even listed the drop as like in his top 10 buzzkill elements.
Which, comparing it to other B&M inverts out there, yeah. But like at the park, it is made to be the looper. It's the multi-looping coaster.
Yeah.
Right. No one rides an invert for the drop.
Yeah. I mean,
unless it's Banshee, I guess.
But like that's its purpose. It is the multi-looping star. Now, Hang Time has 5 inversions, which is pretty impressive, but it's not the 6/almost 7 with Silver Bullet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hang Time's purpose is the beyond vertical drop. It's an eye-catching attraction, and it draws in a lot of those people that are super thrill seekers, at least in their minds. So
Yeah.
personally, I think even though I'm not the biggest fan of this ride overall, I still think it's super solid, and I still think it deserves an A tier.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I think
didn't
I've kind of
expect
changed it around a little. I can understand from
At least in the park.
a different perspective, yeah.
Now, if
Wow.
you put it, at other parks with another B&M invert, but
See, even
maybe B. But like with Knott's especially, I think A is probably fitting for it.
Yeah.
I guess
Better than Flight Deck.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you thought it was how would you compare it to Flight Deck?
Well, to be honest with you, to be 100% honest, this is my least favorite invert. So
yeah.
But
Wrong.
I'm still gonna give it an A tier, especially at Knott's.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if we're just going to assess it off of its attributes and its position in the lineup, it's probably one of the coasters that the average member of the general public would go on. Because people are going to be scared by Accelerator and Hang Time and all that. But, I mean, most parks nowadays have a B&M invert. And so it's, how do I say it? If you stacked it up against a bunch of B&M inverts, it's probably the worst. And I don't know that because I have only ridden one B&M invert. But with its position in the lineup and what it does for overall, I think it's one of probably the most liked coasters in the general public's eyes.
Which I can 100% believe, for sure. So
also, it's a long ride and good pacing.
What is the final tier for this ride? For all of y'all. I know we have 2 A's at least.
I'll take an A.
3 A's?
Triple A. But
So we have another A?
I wouldn't be upset at like a high B, but I feel it's a low A.
Yeah. Same.
Dorian, you've been awfully quiet. So are we all in agreement with A?
Yes.
What? I did not expect
that was not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting at least 1 fist fight or 2. Well, I guess that would have really come from me if I was like,
I know,
I
thought you were gonna
C-tier.
say C.
Yeah, no,
And
but
then
like
you were gonna end up at B.
I think comparing it to the rest of the coaster layout, it makes sense going A. Just looking at it objectively, Do you guys think we can finish Accelerator in 4.5 minutes?
Well, I think we all know what it's going to be.
Well, what do we tier it
Probably
as?
not.
S.
S.
For the park?
S.
S.
Yeah, it's an S. Like, really?
Mario, it's about to be like it's a D tier.
I mean, it doesn't matter what I say regardless. I wouldn't put it any lower than A, so I guess the general consensus would be
Whoa,
S.
that was quick.
Wow.
Come on.
I would honestly
I mean, Mario
say
rode
that
it like 40 times in one day.
I did,
so.
yeah. It's like my second most marathon coaster.
Yeah, favorite launch of all time for me.
Oh yeah, same here.
I know I always get flack for it, I do prefer it to Top Thrill Dragster. I'm sorry.
100%. Yeah.
Just I like that more aggressive, powerful 2.5 seconds than the elongated, drawn out
Absolutely.
launch, which I know a lot of people prefer, which is fair. And those turns are straight out of Millennium Force, and I adore that. So
and airtime exists on this one.
Yeah, if you're sitting in the front, you get like ejector going up to the top hat, and if you're sitting in the back, you get ejector down on the top hat. It's great.
And if you're in the middle, you're screwed.
You
in the middle, you get some nice floater. Yeah, consistent floater throughout the whole thing.
The ride is the epitome of an adrenaline rush. That's the way I've always considered it. Even with all the turns, like I love just like rushing that fast, through high banked turns. After which you would think would be like a respite after the insanity of the first couple of seconds of launching and then going over the top hat. But like no, it's like it's kind of like it's not even really like a wind down,
Yeah.
And hell, I would even say the brake run's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great power.
Yeah, no, I think a pure adrenaline rush for 22 seconds is the perfect way to really go about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So yes, we can do it in less than 4 minutes. We
can
do
that
it
was
in like a minute.
Yeah, Silver Bullet took a really long time.
So some minor musical chairs might have just happened, but it's okay. Zoom is just like that sometimes. So we just put accelerator in S. That's where we left off.
Yep.
Even though it's been like 2 seconds for you guys, don't worry about it. Next up though, this one might be a little more controversial. Well, maybe not actually. This might be fine. Pony Express.
Giddy up Zoom time.
See.
Did you say D, Dorian?
Yes, I do not like the expressive.
Bro, okay.
I have no love for Pony Express.
Neither do I.
I enjoy
it's just
it
there
for
for
what
me.
it is, but what it is so short.
I'm ready to sabotage this vote.
Well, it's just an oval,
do it.
basically.
Vote, honestly, you turd.
Here's my question.
What are you going to put it in S tier?
How do the restraints differ from those on like Intamin motorbikes?
You're
I'm
actually
pretty sure
leaning
they're,
forward.
like exactly the same. No? Oh.
It's not.
I've never been on an Intamin motorbike.
Yeah, you went on Wavebreaker.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
I thought that's like different.
No,
it is Intamin. It is.
That's what we're. Yeah, that's yeah.
Wait,
but it's not a motorbike coaster. I thought motorbike coaster have the same like seating as.
No, you're thinking of Vekoma.
Oh yeah, I am.
So the
Intamin, way
Intamin,
different.
The tire launches are just a lap bar.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a lap bar where you can lean forward if you want to.
Pony Express is like it
Pony
latches
Express
onto
is
your
way
back.
more restrictive.
Yeah.
Way more restrictive.
But it does make you feel like you're riding a horse.
You can stand up on it.
Not really.
I do like that aspect of it. Well, if you cannot get stapled, then you can stand up on it.
Yeah, and get yelled at for it, right, Mario?
Mr. Knott, I would never do that, and I never have, and I would discourage anybody from doing that. But it's just the fact that you could probably.
That's what I thought.
Hypothetically.
Probably.
So, what would you guys end up tiering it though? I'm very curious.
C.
Yeah.
They're a very high D. Because I don't think it'd be fair to put it down there with Timberline Twister.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because for what it is, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good like.
It's your first
introductory
launch
coaster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I think, probably the best first launch coaster you could have, maybe.
Yeah.
Monty.
Just didn't. No, Monty's too intense as a first launch coaster.
Nah.
Think about it. You're 7 years old and you wanna go on a freaking launch coaster for the first time. Are you going on Monty? No.
Heck yeah.
You're gonna go on Montezuma's Revenge. Wait.
You're gonna go on Montezuma's Revenge. Yeah.
Are you gonna go on Monty? No, you're gonna go on Montezuma's Revenge. Call it by its proper name.
I'm gonna stick with D.
He's been bamboozled.
Just because as we move on, I think it will explain a little bit more where my preferences lie.
Yeah.
Further down the road here, and that might be a better. Later on, I don't want to spoil it, but later on will probably be a better explanation as to why.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a C, and here's why: is because it has like very little to offer aside from the launch.
Yeah.
It's just so short, and the capacity, like with how slow the operations are, and how it's usually on one train, not very good. And it's like it's all. I don't know. There's just not much to it.
Yeah.
I think it's just the only redeeming quality it has is the seating style. And then maybe like the last, I mean, at least to me anyways, the last turn is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's why it's not D.
Building,
because it has
same.
like
Yeah,
I guess
just-
2 things going for it.
But again, there's something else in here that has
deserves the
more
D.
going on for it that I think, I don't know. I don't.
Anyways, what's the
What do you
final?
think,
What's the
Drew?
final tally?
Drew, what's your
C.
controversial opinion?
I was just gonna say C because it's really just a
C.
family supporting coaster.
Yeah,
I
I'd
would've
say
said
C
D
too.
for some reason.
Yeah, I thought you all were gonna say D, and I was
Well,
like,
you can't put it on the
whoa.
same level as Monty, but you also can't put it on the same level as Timber Twister.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
Timber Twister.
Or Line Twister.
Well, Timber
Okay, so
Twister, that's up
what's
Like
next?
a tree and go.
So wait. We got to figure out where this goes, Cliff.
C.
Okay, call on people.
All right, so I say C. That's one for C.
C.
Was that a D, a B, or a C? I have no idea.
I don't know either.
C.
Okay, 2C,
C. C.
I'm a C as well.
3C.
I'm a D, and I would put Jaguar over it any day.
Okay,
That's what I wanted to get to.
Dorian.
I'll change it to C.
Okay,
Jeez. Okay.
4C, Jeff.
I don't feel like I should rate it because
Okay.
I feel like there too much has to do with like your specific rides on it.
Yeah, it really depends on how you feel about it. So I'm gonna put it in C.
Yeah, that looks so much nicer than Discovery Kingdom.
So
where everything is
satisfying.
at the top or at the
Discovery
bottom.
Kingdom was-
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is so visually pleasing.
It's just everything in line. Well, that's gonna
Yeah,
change
it's
So
very
sad.
quickly here.
Yeah.
Because our next ride,
Is it
Ghost
though?
Rider.
Okay, we'll see.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, obviously. Is it even
Ghost
a
Rider.
debate?
Yeah, Ghost
Well,
Rider.
Sammy, you're not the biggest fan of it.
It's all right. Like I'm more of an aversion person myself, as I've said many a time. So, but I can still put it an S based on the park
Okay.
and what it's worth. Yeah,
Jeff.
I liked Ghosty scene.
It's an S.
I do like Ghost
Okay.
Rider though.
So we are all in complete agreement. Ghost
No,
Rider
Drew's gonna put it on D.
is an S.
Wait, Sammy, do you think it's a S for the park or A?
For the park, I'd say it's an S.
Okay.
It
I
would
think
be like
it's-
a low S for me, like a very high A, but I think it's more just
For me
Personal
personally,
opinion, yeah.
it's G tier.
G tier.
Yeah, God tier.
God.
Stop. Right now, knock that
Mario
off.
knows what's up.
All right.
It's so good, man.
Okay.
It's so
No,
fantastic.
stop.
Yeah.
Review coming. Well, I don't know when.
You've never reviewed Ghost Rider?
Yeah, because I was gonna go get footage and then the park closed.
Why?
Well, why do you think?
For
Not
those
enough
of you watching in
boysenberries.
for those of you watching in 2 years, this is the
Hey, don't say that word. I'll get demonetized. You
Yeah.
don't say that. Just it's the thing. We're under
sickness.
Demon
we're under the
virus.
big Q.
The plague.
Here, I'll put my hand here so you know where to cut out.
Oh wait, my oh wait.
Sure, you can't say that, man.
Yeah. Oh wait. Whoa, wait. What? Are you turning this on me? So less pleasing to look at now.
I'm pleasing to look at.
What?
Very
What?
top heavy.
Yeah, it's very top heavy. Looks like a really just long
It's like a
Tetris
backwards
piece.
one.
Oh no, it's fine. It's
no,
okay if
it's
it's because
not.
of S tier.
Still have plenty of spaces.
Dude,
Well-
I think I genuinely think it's gonna balance out by the end of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It. Yeah.
I think it's
Okay.
going to.
So
Actually, it
It
will.
literally is going to.
I can
Just
see the
looking at
next
it right
one.
now,
I can
I
see
really
it
know.
already.
with
Alright.
our next coaster being Hang Time, where do you guys think it tiers?
A.
A.
Yeah. A
I
high
say
A.
I say like lower A, but yeah,
Yeah.
A. It
I'm like
depends on the
mid A.
ride, but
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff.
Here's my question for you, because I know Gerslauers aren't known for being the smoothest rides that over time. How does that kind of change your opinion on things?
I mean, I already took that into consideration. That's why I said like depending on the ride. It really depends on the
Yeah.
terrain, the seat, the row, the day. Like
It's really
so much.
Whether, yeah.
Whether it rained yesterday or not for the past 3 weeks,
Yeah.
it's kind of all over the place.
Whether or not you're
Or if a
I've
swarm of
never-
bees landed on the
Karen.
track.
I've never had a ride on it that's been so rough to the point where it's uncomfortable for me.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
roughest
little
rides are
jerky,
not
but
that
it's
bad.
like, yeah.
Like it rattles around a bit, but it's like it's not like a B&M
headache.
rattle where it will give you like a headache, or
Yeah.
rattle your jaw around. It's just kind of a little crunch.
A little
It's
jerky,
honestly more similar to like a wooden coaster rattle,
Mhm.
like which is preferable, where it's kind of just like bumpy, but like not.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it's only in
coaster.
spots.
I don't know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
all right, so I think we all say A. I say A. Jeff, what do you
I
say?
say A.
Yeah. A.
Okay.
I mean, if like looking at what the GP would want, they'd probably say S. But overall, I
Yeah.
think there are
Yeah.
much better coasters in the
Mhm.
park.
Okay.
Yeah.
S it is. I mean,
It's also it's one of
Sorry.
it's also one of the few coasters in the park that has really excellent presentation. I mean, the lighting
Yeah.
it's
really
fantastic.
allows it to stand out. So
Yeah.
I think
It's themed.
like,
Yeah.
that's
One
why
of
I
the
put
best-
it at a higher A myself personally. Because
One
I
of
mean,
the
as a
best in the
ride too.
country.
Yeah.
As a ride too, it's just so fun.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I actually
would
say
put it high A.
in California.
I think the bigger
also
question is
re-rideable.
if it is a dive coaster.
Well,
We're gonna be
regardless
here.
of
We're
whether or
gonna
not
waste
it
all
is,
our
I
Zoom
think it's
meeting
an A.
time if we ask.
Well,
that.
then, Jeff, is Tidal Twister a roller coaster? Okay. Anyways, let's
No,
move on.
it's
before
not a
this-
We're gonna
roller
Okay,
waste
coaster.
all our Zoom.
You're
move on.
gonna
Okay.
start them
No.
off.
All
Look at all
right.
this work you're giving you. We're just giving Drew so much work.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right,
Alrighty, guys.
All right.
we coasters.
Alrighty, coasters.
Let's
Sierra
see.
Sidewinder's up next. The spinning Mach coaster. Where do you guys think this steers?
B.
B.
Do you say C?
B.
B.
Sammy.
B.
B as in boy.
Yes, the second letter of the alphabet.
Okay,
B.
cool. Just making sure. Just making
B
sure.
as in Biera Binder.
You're a bide binder.
IP binder?
Cliff?
B, just solely on the fact that even though it's a family coaster, it's a really intense one.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in Camp Snoopy whatsoever.
No.
Could not.
It's like
You know
just
what?
barely-
You know what? It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I know it's not possible, but if like Pony Express and Sierra switched
I was
places.
thinking the same
Yeah.
exact thing.
As
Yeah.
far as like thrill level
Exactly.
goes, that makes a lot more sense.
But at this,
Yeah.
well, actually, the Sierra Sidewinder theme would fit with Calico River Rapids because it's in the Sierra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, not that they're gonna move them, obviously, but like
Yeah,
Pony
there ain't no space
Express.
for that, but-
Well, Pony Express doesn't really make sense. It's.
Well, it wouldn't change my opinion of the coaster so much.
You
as
can
far as
ride
Pony
horses
Express
at a
goes.
camp.
Also, you'd have 3 launch coasters on that side of the park and none on the other. So
Yeah.
then it's I don't know.
No,
It
It's-
just gives people to
overall,
walk
I don't
that
know.
way.
I don't know. I mean, it
As
doesn't
far
really.
as thrill goes, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
B.
It works for the park, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a B for sure.
B.
I've gotten
Cool.
better. I mean, even on rides that aren't spinning all the time, it
What's
still is
Jeffrey's
awesome.
opinion? What's Jeffrey's opinion?
Looks like a really fun coaster. So, yeah.
Okay.
I would lean like I'm like dead between B and C just because it's like over kind of quickly and like Cliff was saying like there's like varying ride experiences, but I definitely don't have a problem with it being at B.
Okay, B it is.
All right. Hey, Jeffrey, don't blink if you agree.
Stop doing that to your list. There we go. Okay.
It's definitely very fun regardless.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a great little ride.
Yeah.
Yepperoni.
Used to be in my top 10, believe it or not.
I just feel like that's insulting to Montezuma at that point.
I know.
Well, at the time I wasn't too big a fan of Monty. But I'd only ridden I think 60 coasters at that point, and Sierra Sidewinder was my number 10. So I had gotten a 16 spin ride like the week prior. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was tilting it a little bit. Or should I say spinning?
Spinning.
But next up, this one actually might be a little more controversial, I want to say, in comparison to like Hang Time and Sierra and Ghost Rider especially. This is Jaguar, the Zero family Tivoli coaster. What I consider to be the monorail of the park. It's really just a monorail, and it's not even a smooth
screaming
monorail.
The
Yeah,
turning
and it's
monorail.
super freaking loud, and it's just kind of boring unless you get like Monty going around in the loop while you're.
I
Yeah.
never have.
Yeah, I've gotten close. But
I got really close.
I don't mind how it swerves through the trees a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a great layout and idea. It's just not executed very well.
It's
I
like,
think it's super fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Especially
like it a lot.
the last helix that has little dips and little small airtime hills on it. I mean, you don't get airtime on it so much, but it's like
it's just fun. Yeah.
jankiness. It's kind of fun. It's
Okay.
I mean, if I were a child writing this thing, I would be like all for it. Like,
yeah.
Well, to me,
Yeah.
it really is the second, it's the second step, really.
yeah.
You ride Timberline Twister, and then you go to Jaguar next up.
Mhm.
That's the
I'd
next step.
say it's better than the Beast.
Okay.
He wants me to throw hands.
Oh, I'm just being honest.
All right. Well,
It's pretty scenic. It's like a scenic ride.
Yeah, it's nice and scenic. It's fun.
for tier though, I'd have to say D.
D?
Yeah.
I will fight you on that one.
Yeah, no, it's a C tier, dude.
It's a
I say
C.
C. Yeah.
Solid C tier.
It's a C.
I mean, what? Because D is getting to like instead of a coaster being like average, which is C. Like D is like you think
Dude,
it's like below
It is
average.
besides Timberline
Like, you think it's
Twistering
just what's bad about it?
and
What
Coast
what
Rider,
do
it
you
is the
dislike
most
about it?
painful ride in the park for me.
Hey, don't
No.
spoil what's better.
Yeah, it
What?
is.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? You just stretching your legs out in the train?
No.
Or something? Like
Putting your hand in between the wheels in the track. I don't.
I just always get slammed around in it because I'm so light and
That's because you keep riding by yourself, huh?
That
bud?
Have you
sounds
tried
like a
holding
you
on?
Problem to me.
yes. And then I just
Because your
slide
neck is
side to
too long.
side. Dude, on freaking Thunder Mountain, I slide side to side still if I'm sitting alone. Even
Okay, so is that a D tier?
no, because that
Wow.
is like nice and smooth.
Your argument is invalid. Get out.
What?
I think everyone's
But have you
saying
seen
C
Spike
except
from
for you,
below
my
the
dude.
helix?
Yeah, literally,
Well,
you're-
Jeff, what's your tiering?
I mean, it's a family coaster. I don't see anything too wrong with it that would make it be below average.
Okay.
Yeah.
One, two.
See,
It's better than
exactly.
like Shamu Express at SeaWorld San Antonio.
It's way better than that. Miles better, dude. You know how many parks get like mediocre or like crummy
This is my
family coasters?
least favorite Tivoli.
This
for
is
sure.
so much better
Decently
than like your
themed,
cookie
too.
cutter family coaster.
But this
dude.
is a 0.
I prefer Cobra.
Tivoli is the.
Said a
I mean,
bad
it's better
word.
than those just because it like goes around and stuff.
No,
This
I get like airtime and good laterals on those, and they're smooth.
this has
Drew,
airtime
Drew,
in the
Drew.
front, or if you like in some spots. And,
Your opinion is invalid. It's a C.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, the
okay,
most
Drew.
The
It's
whole
okay
point
to
of
feel
this
that
is
way.
like going over each other's opinions.
Well,
I'm not
guess
saying they're
what?
invalid. It's
Majority
just
rules.
weighing them. It's just
AC is
weighing
the
them.
1D.
All right, fine.
I think as far as family coasters even goes, it's far more unique than most of them.
Yeah.
And like I love Cobra at Discovery Kingdom, but I feel like this is definitely more unique than Cobra.
Yeah. It's high above the ground too. It's kind of fun. It's like
Yeah,
You
a
go
little-
through
Oh,
a
yeah.
pyramid.
It's so freaking loud.
okay.
You said that.
Riddler's
Wait.
You like
I'm
you
gonna,
like
I'm gonna level your argument against you from the
I
past
literally went
videos
against
on
you
with you.
for that about how
Oh my
loud it
God,
was.
guys, this
And
ride
Superman.
this ride is so loud. It stares at Riddler's Revenge.
Stairs on Superman.
I literally said they were both so freaking loud, and that's a minus for both of them.
okay, but how does that detract from the ride experience?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go near it.
It's just salty, man. It's the C.
Okay,
even if you put
Superman
even if there was
too.
like an F tier, it wouldn't sway
Like
it. Like
Superman,
from
I
Drop
the-
in
don't
the
wanna walk
comments
under
right
it.
now if you want Drew to ride Jaguar 50 times in a row.
Yes.
I'm down.
Drop
They're
in
gonna
the
put that
comments.
idea
I
in
do
their
it.
heads. They're
I am
gonna make
putting
them
that
do
idea
it.
in their head just
It's
to
too long of a ride,
Yeah.
though.
Comment.
Which is another reason it's good. It's a nice long ride, man.
Okay, 30
Bang
times.
for your buck. There you go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Are you proud? Are you
and
proud
let's,
now?
and let's not forget about the awesome station.
Ooh.
I know
Okay.
that's saving
That's
though,
pretty
man.
lit.
It's
That's
too
He
dark
was the
for a
best part
family
of the ride.
coaster.
Okay, I
Not
can't
true.
disagree with you on that part.
That's not true.
Well,
At
it's not
least
part
I
of the
have.
ride. It's just part of the queue.
Yeah, but like ride experience, you have
Ride
to
experience.
You adds on to the experience.
I'll agree with you that it's like obnoxious in like all parts of the park that it goes over with how loud it is, but like at the end of the day, that doesn't make it a bad ride experience.
Like it's louder
Yeah.
than freaking Montezuma's Revenge and Silver Bullet, and they're both right next to each other.
Okay, that's what happens when you put steel wheels on steel track, dude.
Ugh,
Just be thankful it's not going 100 miles per hour.
Oh yeah.
That's Superman.
Okay. If we weren't getting controversial enough with Jaguar, aka me being a little salty,
It's D. We all know.
we're
it's
gonna
true.
get
We all know
controversial with
it's-
Coast Rider.
We all
Uh,
And by controversial and we, I mean me.
what?
Are you gonna put it at C?
You're gonna
All
put it the
right,
S tier, aren't you?
Where would you guys tier Coast Rider?
See,
I mean, really? Okay. I can respect the C opinion, but a coaster should not have to have that much effort put forward by a rider to like make it not bad.
Yeah.
see,
through
the
your
thing
leg-
is, I'm tall, and I have trouble getting on it. But I'm sure a lot of people shorter than me, which is most people, probably don't have as much.
Okay.
Yeah, like they probably don't have as much problems as me with it. And I think if I was to maybe learn how to ride it, or just like scooch my legs a little bit, same way I did with like the Mauer spinners, because those are tight. If I like, position myself a certain way, I can enjoy it. And like, I don't mind a little bit of effort going into it. And I think most people can kind of pick up on that too when they go to ride it. Anything really.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
And
yeah.
if it was just like, it's just the shin bars. That's the only thing about it. Everything else
Yeah.
about it, I think it's for what it is. It's
my
fine.
least favorite wild mouse.
Absolutely.
Pretty standard. Yeah, it's just very.
The clone.
It doesn't really give me any joy and excitement. Like there's not much like scenery or whatever.
It was
feel
really
like-
good to watch him.
Compared to like Jaguar.
It would be okay without the shin restraints, but it would still probably be my second least favorite wild mouse without the
yeah.
shin restraints. Because it's just, I don't know. There are some transitions on it for some reason that are a little more jolty than its exact clone that is much older down at Legoland.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For
Which is
me, what the
really
problem
weird.
is that it's trimmed to death, and I don't know if that's because they run too many trains on it, and I only
Well,
ride it when
Legoland's
it's
is
not
exactly
busy.
the same way, and
Yeah.
every wild mouse I've been on is exactly the same way, except for Psycho Mouse, but they only cycle 2 cars
Well,
at a time. with that,
every
so.
wild mouse is gonna
Yeah.
get trimmed because it needs to be going a specific speed to not kill you through those turns, and to also obviously stay spaced out properly. But I feel like I notice it way more on this than something for like Goofy Sky School, for example. And also like with the trims being on it, like, and the shin guards being on it as well, the trims push your shins into the shin guards. And I don't have so much of a problem with the fact that my shins touch the shin guards. I have a problem that they're like rock solid,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they're not
Yeah.
like premieres where like sure they push up against you, but they're at least like soft, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you don't
incredibly
really notice them
uncomfortable.
unless you're like pushing against them,
Yeah.
usually.
My
Not
leg.
to mention how small it is, like the clearance between your
Yeah.
legs and
Well,
like.
they're like straight across, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That's
they were
true.
curved
Right.
a little bit,
Yeah.
it'd be okay for a lot more people.
Yeah.
Still deserves to be in D tier,
I
specifically
don't know.
for the shin guards.
I
Have you-
just feel
have
like
you-
the
The
way
shin
it makes
guards,
me
I might
sit
say-
is like.
I'd ask, do you think there's actually a way to not bypass the shin guards, but like position yourself to
Hmm.
Sweater.
make it a little bit more comfortable?
I take my bag and I put it like right in between my knees, and then I push it
Mhm.
forward just a little bit, and then I pull my restraint down.
That's
Yeah.
a good way of doing it, but sometimes, well, I like to use like a sweater because I don't have enough room for my bag to do that.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you a lot of times that you have to put your sweater like in a bag or wear it or something because they don't want like loose articles, which is fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah,
It still deserves to
It's
be
tough.
D tier.
What I do is I just cross my arms and my elbows hit up against the restraint, and I just push on the restraint with my elbows.
Yeah.
And it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
didn't you put this in like your top 10 worst coasters, my dude?
2 years ago, before I figured out that if I just cross my arms, it's fine.
I don't know. It's an okay ride, but it's like
Also, at that point, I'd ridden like 40 coasters, I think. So
I think you've kind of swayed me. I think I'd put it down to a D instead, because I do agree. Like, I think if you do have to put that much effort into making it enjoyable, there's no way Knott's doesn't know
No, they
at
know.
this point that
The employees know.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know. It just And like, I mean, I think I do think about like other wild mouses, like I mean, Scooby Sky Squadron was a little bit more enjoyable of a coaster. I mean, this one, like, I mean, I know it's like trimmed a little bit to some. I mean, I see it seems like wild mouse coasters tend to ride the same for me across the board, except for maybe the exception of like, Psycho Mouse.
Yeah.
But other than that, all of them like tend to always give me the same sensation of like laterals that are pretty like soul crushing to some extent. And this one, I mean, has that doesn't really like it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have
That's
like
what I'm saying.
like
it takes a
like
turn slower, man. It really does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, putting effort into riding a coaster, like when it's something like X2, is way different than like a freaking wild mouse. You know what I mean?
Is it though? Is it
not
though?
worth the effort?
Is it though?
X2 is worth the effort.
Is it though?
Yes.
Is it though?
X2 is worth the effort.
You tell me, Drew. Before nothing, I won't do it.
You're not worth the effort, Drew.
Okay. So
Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
Well, this is kind of hard because I haven't ridden a lot of coasters that have difficult restraints.
well, have you been on Technic coaster?
Yeah, but it's been a long time.
Okay.
I didn't have any complaints with that one.
It's
as far as I
basically
remember.
imagine that, but on your shins, there's a piece of metal that literally digs into them.
Well, here's the thing.
Also,
I do
no.
not like
I know.
tough restraints. Even Mach's restraints, I don't particularly care for.
Okay.
So I'll probably say D. Just
Okay.
because of that. Because I mean, let's say you want to improve a ride. What's the easiest way that you could possibly improve a ride versus changing the layout?
Make it an
or
RMC.
That's number one.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
But I mean, something so subtle that would make a really big difference in ride experience, I feel like should be a really big concern for parks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so even out of just the fact that they haven't made a lot of effort to change that, I feel like that kind of even brings it down a little bit.
Even just replacing it with like straps or something.
Yeah.
Or make
I
them
don't know.
like what Premier trains have with the foam.
Just have a little extra padding on there.
Or they could sell
Or like
themed,
indent them. Yeah.
They could sell themed shin guards by the entrance.
Steam shin guards.
Stop.
Get yours now for only $20.99.
They can
Don't
it
give them
can
like-
be an upcharge attraction. They can run multiple trains. The ones that are comfortable are the upcharge ones.
All right.
Final count.
D.
D.
Whoa. Don't all speak at once now.
Okay, you gotta calm people then, my dude.
All right. Sammy.
D.
1D. Dorian.
D.
2Ds. Jeff.
Please.
D.
3Ds. Mario.
D.
4Ds. Cliff.
4D free spins.
D.
Oh, right. Well, my vote.
Drew?
What an amazing 5D experience. Well, Drew, what were you going to put it in?
What do you think I was gonna put it at?
C.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
Wow, look, it's actually even.
What the heck, man?
Does Knott's have the most even coaster lineup?
Honestly,
Are you gonna make that a video now? Somebody's gonna make that video.
Yeah.
But it looks like we finished it up. We got the entire tier list done, and it is very symmetrical. Which
Very satisfying.
it's appreciative.
It is. And I agree with most of it.
And it's kind of funny though, because
All of it.
Yeah.
most of these coasters kind of have the same, like, well, never mind. I take that
The
back.
only thing that's a little off is like Sidewinder and like Montezuma.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the only one really, because like Hang Time Silver Bullet, they're the loopers of the park. Pony Express Jaguar, they're the family coasters of the park. And then you have, Accelerator, Ghost Rider, which are complete opposites of each other in every way, technically. But
Yeah.
they are complete opposites. You have a launched steel coaster and then a chain lift wooden coaster, but they're both
Amazing.
But they're both made by B&M.
no. And then we have Timberline Twister and Coast Rider, which are usually just not liked because they're uncomfortable.
Those are also probably like two of the lower thrill coasters.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say Jaguar's probably a little less thrill than Coast Rider for sure.
Should we move like Montezuma to A? Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I feel like Montezuma is like a high B.
Yeah.
It's just like the way the tier
I
list is.
yeah, I think it's a high B. Like
Yeah,
Silver
me too.
Bullet's a low A and Hang Time's a
Mhm.
high
I
A.
feel like both of those are just slightly better.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we don't have those options. We just have fall letters. So.
We need like
Yeah,
a
I mean-
drop-down meta that says like B.1, B.2.
I mean, if we ended up just making a 1 through 10 list at that point,
Yeah.
so
Right.
like and then literally
probably
every one
each
of these coasters would be like,
at one spot.
yeah, exactly. You'd
I wonder
have
yeah, but what would the very bottom be?
you'd have Ghost Rider 10, Accelerator 9, Hang Time 8, Silver Bullet 7. You know, it would
Yeah.
literally just go all the way down.
It would be
What would
just
be
as
the bottom,
even. But
Coast Rider or Timberline?
Timberline 100%.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that.
But this was fun.
I did.
Yeah.
A little
Can
more
we move Timberline
agreeable.
down?
No,
I mean,
we
not
cannot,
Timberline.
we cannot move Timberline down.
Sierra.
Can we make an F
No.
just for Timberline?
Sierra is not on the same tier as Jaguar and Pony.
I know. But Monty's not on the same level as the Sierra.
I would argue it is.
I would argue it's not. Let's argue.
But
Oh,
well,
man.
okay. Well, any
Yeah.
changes that you guys think should happen in this list?
Nope.
No, not based on the list.
No, I just feel bad for Monty. It doesn't deserve
I
to
know.
be on the same tier.
Okay,
as-
we get it. We love Monty.
Yeah.
We really do. But in the parks lineup, it is that supporting thrill coaster.
Yeah.
So I don't
Fair
think we can really argue with that, to be honest. So
I think everything's pretty fair.
yeah, I think pretty much everything should stay the same.
Yeah.
Like looking at it, I'm not too happy about Jaguar, but I'm okay with it, you know. And like Monty, I would love to move up, but it doesn't really make sense to necessarily.
Jaguar belongs there way
And
more than
Silver
Monty
Bullet, I
does.
would personally try and move down a little bit, but A is fine. You know, it's just
Yeah.
these small little changes that would, like, personally, I would want to implement. But at the same time, it's like I can understand why they're where they are.
No one
Mhm.
feels like anything's off by more than a tier, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like two tiers in a row, two lists in a row, man.
unless you
Yeah.
add an F tier and then I'd put a certain coaster 2 tiers away. No, I'm kidding.
Ugh.
It wouldn't be that bad. But yeah, thank you guys for touring Knott's Berry Farm with me, and thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this heavily edited episode of tiering the parks. And if you guys want to see any other parks in the future, please let me know, and what parks in specific. Mostly California would probably be preferred, but some of us, like Mario, Cliff, and I, have been to Cedar Point, so we'd love to do that as well. Or Waldemere would be interesting, maybe. Or yeah, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, or Lagoon.
ZDTs.
ZDTs, yeah. Where does Switchback go? S.
That's for Switchback.
For Switchback, dude, come on.
Or B for back switch.
Stop. But if you guys have any ideas of what parks you guys would like to see tiered, or even just like if you want to see a manufacturer list or anything like that, let
That'd
us
be
know
fun.
down in the comments. Thanks, Jeff, for that idea. But besides that, huh?
A boysenberry tier list.
Oh well, boysenberry S, boysenberry
Boysenberry.
S, boysenberry. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It means a heck of a lot. And if, of course, you want to see me ride Jaguar 50 times in a row when the parks reopen, please check out that iCard in the top right-hand corner. And of course, as always, we'll see you on the next ride.